Welcome to Gonzaga Nation SI. I'm your host, Dan Dickau, here with special guest Leonard Perry, the head coach of the Pacific Tigers. Leonard, thanks for joining. Appreciate the time. You guys are in a heck of a difficult stretch with road games.
Yeah.
Tell us how the restructuring of the schedule came about, because you were at USC, you're at Gonzaga, then you're at against a really improved San Diego team next on the road.
Dan, it's been 2 weeks straight of 3 games a week. Kind of starting with BYU, had BYU at home, 24 hours later on the road at Santa Clara. We come back at home, I believe, a tough game with San Diego, who's really improved, and then back on the road at Portland, and then we hit this stretch. Yeah, well, I take that back. We had Pepperdine, who's got a lot of good young players and had us down 15 at half, and played that, got on the plane with them, going back to Malibu on our way out this way, and scheduled the USC game because the cancellation with the Gonzaga game at our place and St. Mary's as well. So yeah, it's been a torrid pace of hotels, hotel food and scouting reports and practice times. But it's allowed us time to bond and really lock in on trying to make up some time from when COVID hit us. And, the kids are hanging in there and they're fighting every day.
So that's an interesting one. You guys played Pepperdine, and then you were on the same flight to LA.
Yeah.
Only happened once in my college career. How interesting was that? Did
Well,
you and Coach Romar kind of share some notes amongst the league?
well, I can tell you this: we could see the steam coming out of their hair on the flight back because they were up 15. Good young group. I think for years to come, they're going to be really good. And they got us at their place the next night. It didn't work out for us, but yeah, it was a little bit there.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But you guys are playing much better. You beat BYU at home. You hung in there tough with a really good USC team. You took over under some unique circumstances. Damon Stoudemire has been the head coach at Pacific, has been doing a really nice job, and then he gets a chance to go back to the NBA, and you slide into that position, and rightfully so, because you were the associate head coach. When you get the job that late, I'm sure there's a number of challenges because you've got to implement maybe some philosophy ideas that you've wanted to do, and maybe you've had to re-recruit guys to stay within the program. Tell us how that adjustment went.
Well, I think both your points are valid, Dan. You keep in mind the entire roster was put together for Coach Stoudemire and the way that he liked to play and his philosophy. So none of the kids, actually signed to play for me. So they were kind of like, this is what it is this late. And then you have to try to put a staff together as quick as you can. My first game was November 14th. Our first staff meeting was November 11th, where we had a full staff. So all of these things are coming together on the fly. It was really late, but we got it together, and our staff has done great. I'm lucky to have them. Glad they're here, them and their families, and to try to put your philosophy together on the run throughout the year has been the biggest challenge. The things that we think are really important, and including your staff, like they have to learn me. They've got to learn the things that are vital to what I believe in a program. And but I'm honored to get this opportunity. As you know, Danny, these opportunities are so rare. You got a better chance of winning the lottery than you do of getting another opportunity of being a head coach again. So I'm just thankful for our administration, our athletic director, and the support that we have.
Well, this isn't your first time as a head coach. You spent some time just south of Spokane in Moscow, Idaho, at the University of Idaho. So I can imagine you have experiences and memories that you can lean on to get Pacific continued in the right direction. But you've got some good pieces that you can build upon. Some experienced guys a grad transfer, Alfonso Anderson from Utah State. But then Jeremiah Bailey, I think, in the league has been underrated the last couple of years because he plays hard and he's very versatile. He can do a lot of different things. Tell us a little bit about your roster.
Yeah, you mentioned those guys. Pierre Cockwell's the head of the Snake Force. He runs the show. He makes everything go. He's such a good defender. I think he's underrated as a defender. He does a really good job on opposing teams' point guards, and it really gives us a chance. He keeps us organized offensively and keeps everybody where they're supposed to be. More of a Mark Jackson type, much smaller than Mark Jackson, but really kind of controls the tempo kind of guy. Luke Avdalovich, we got as a transfer from Northern Arizona, could really shoot it. Tough kid, is playing on a bad ankle right now. Just refuses to sit out, and just will not, just take the time off. He's just such a warrior. Jeremiah Bailey's been with us for some years now. He knows the league. He's been around. We can move him around to different spots. It can guard multiple positions, and he does a good job on the glass for us. And then Alfonso Anderson, we got from Utah State as a grad transfer, and he's still feeling his way out. He's had highs and lows, and we're trying to get him, on a consistent arc north, if you will. And, it's taken him some time, but he's slowly starting to come around offensively, and we hope that he can stay on that upward trend. And that those guys are the core of our team. Caleb Rouse is doing a really good job for us. It took him a long time. Junior college players, when you get those guys, you can just scratch off the first year. Like you can just throw that away. The first year is shot. It was the same way with Jalil Tripp. First year is just out the door. They don't get it until the second or third year. And this is his first year, and it's taken him a while to get used to things, but he's coming around. He's slowly coming around.
So Gonzaga's seen a lot of different game plans, get back in transition, make them shoot threes without sharing, obviously, 100% what you've set your mind on preparing your team for on Thursday night. How many different schemes do you go through with your staff before you settle on what you want to do?
Well, against Gonzaga, I've looked at, all 23 of the schemes that were presented against them, and all of them were just a waste of time. It's the number one team in the country. I don't care what scheme it is. First of all, you're not going to throw one out that Coach Few hadn't seen. I don't care what it is, what boxing one, whatever you got, whatever you have, they've seen it. They have kids that played in the national championship game. They've seen everything you can possibly throw out. The things that are important for us will be taking care of the basketball, live ball turnovers, getting back in transition, just basic things that every team has got to do against this team. And most of the time, I mean, you're trotting the number one pick in the draft out there, and a couple of other potential, maybe first rounders or second rounders for sure. There's a long laundry list of them, and you got to hope your kids play well. You got to hope your kid. I can't. What am I going to do? Just run something that's going to take Holmgren out of the game, or Drew Timme out of the game, or Nembhard out of it. That's not going to happen. So we'll concentrate more on what we're doing and try to take care of the basketball and try to take care of it against the press and not give live ball turnovers, because that's going to get those guys revved up and going. And next thing you know, their spurt ability is unlike anything in college basketball, in my opinion, and especially in this building. You can look up and 3 mistakes can cost you 12 points in a minute and a half.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate the time. I know you guys have lots of different things going with travel, shoot-arounds, practices, and whatnot. I wish you continued success at Pacific, and thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan, and I'll leave you with this. I remember when you played, and you got really good at this thing that's prevalent now in the NBA and college called a drag screen. I'd never seen it before until you ran it, and you ran it so well that it was the greatest moving screen I'd ever seen. And now it's common throughout basketball and throughout the country. So a lot of people give Europeans credit for it. I'm giving Dan Dickau and Mark Few credit for that drag screen.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Coach Few was awesome enough to give me a lot of freedom to kind of rub the defense off of the screen in transition. So I appreciate those words. And again, best of luck and continued improvement because I like the build up of your roster and I like the direction of your program. So thanks again for joining.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me, man.